Hello friends, welcome here. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Oceana. I am going to be sharing all of my almost favorite books of 2024. So these are books that I either rated 4 or 5 stars that didn't make it onto my favorites of the year list, but still I want to talk about them, I want to promote them, but they weren't good enough to be a favorite of the year. So they're honorable mentions. I did this last year and it was just a nice way to talk more about books that I would recommend, but just weren't in my favorites video. So I'm gonna write all of these books down below. Some of them you will enjoy, some of them will be surprising. You don't know, I don't know, but let's do this. So I don't remember if my December wrap-up is going up before this video, but I did talk about the one with the kiss cam by Cindy Steele. This book should have been in my favorites of the year video, so I'm talking about it first. I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book, and I just had already filmed my favorites of the year, so I couldn't put it in that video, but seriously, this is one of the top reads of the year, so at least I can highlight it in this video, and then I'm gonna continue to be recommending it throughout the year because this is one of the best clean rom-coms I've ever read. And I don't, I haven't read a ton of clean rom-coms yet, but the more that I read, I'm learning different writing styles and what I look for and what I like in a clean rom-com, and this is exactly what I want to be reading. So I loved this book, and in my December wrap-up I explained what it's about, so I'll refrain from doing that here, but the reasons I liked it. So the first thing is the writing style. It was so easy to read, but it had depth to it. You got to know the characters' thoughts and feelings, and it was clear that it was a well thought out story. And one thing that I enjoy is when you see kind of a quick bond between characters. It's not insta love, but it's just clearly there's chemistry there. And then when there's time apart and you see that chemistry lasts them years. I love seeing the progression of the relationship in that way. So it starts with you're following them over one day, one night at the very beginning. They don't see each other for 3 years. So it jumps 3 years and you pick up with them and what they're doing, and they cross paths again, and you just see how they kind of rekindle what they had. And a lot has happened over 3 years. And just seeing the way that both characters were affected by the 3 years, affected by each other, the way the guy loved the girl, it was so beautiful. It was just the most beautiful acts of service that you would ever want a man to do for you. I loved seeing the way that he loved her so well. And she made him better too. She stood up for him and she helped him kind of see his flaws and see where he needed to improve. And he clearly built her up in so many ways with confidence, and but they also had to grow on themselves too. I'm just telling you, this relationship was solid. I loved reading about it. It was adorable, a lot of cute moments, but so much depth too. And I just loved the day-to-day moments of seeing them grow closer together, and the side characters were great as well, and even just the plot and what it was about. Truly, I loved this book. So this should have been a favorite, but at least I can talk about it in this video. 5 stars, loved this book. It's not an honorable mention, it is a favorite, but I just couldn't put it in the other video. So yeah. Okay, another 5-star that didn't make it into my favorites is Captured in Frame by Laura Thomas. This is a romantic suspense. It's published by a smaller Christian publisher, and I was sent a free ebook copy to read and review, so I was hopeful that I was gonna like it, but sometimes, it doesn't work out. But this one really worked out. I loved the writing style. This introduced me to this author, and I really do like her writing style. I think she's good at it. What really stands out is the way that her dialogue, it feels very realistic, and the way the characters think and what they do, it just feels real, and I thought it was really well done for that. This is shorter too, it's under 300 pages, but the suspense was built up well, and I definitely kept me interested. And I don't know, I guess I didn't feel like it belonged in my favorites video, but I gave it 5 stars. I definitely would recommend it. I really enjoyed it. For what it was really great, and gave it 5 stars. So yeah, definitely love that one too. Okay, that's it for 5 stars that didn't make it into my video. Now on to 4 stars. I need to talk about these books because it's a sad day when they don't appear in favorites. So we need it. Okay, so Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is the novella that goes in between, or basically it's a tandem read with Powerless, but it came out after Powerless. So anyways, I bought and read this book in 2024 and I really enjoyed it. The only thing that made me not give it 5 stars and wouldn't make it a favorite is there just was a little bit more language in this book than, I guess because it's shorter, like there was probably the same amount of language that there was in Powerless in this book, but because this is shorter, it stood out more, and I wasn't a fan of that. There were no F words that I can remember, but just other language that I was like, it felt out of place in this book, so that's why I gave it 4 stars. But otherwise, still loved the writing style, still loved the characters, still really sad ending. But this book, I felt like it set up Reckless so well, but then I also feel like it was part of why I didn't give Reckless a higher rating. So I'll try to explain myself without giving spoilers. Basically, there's a character in this book, one of the main characters, that I truly thought was going to show up in Reckless, and he didn't at all. And I was like really bummed out by that. So I don't know, and that's my own fault, you know, who am I? I'm not Lauren Roberts, she can do whatever she wants. But so with Reckless, I gave this 4 stars. I have a whole reading vlog for it, and I really enjoyed my reading experience with this book. My reading experience is 5 stars, but the actual story and plot, definitely lacking, okay? Compared to Powerless, but also like compared to any book, like, what? Like, not much happened other than like a relationship grew, I would say. Yeah, a relationship grew, and it ended in a way where it's like, okay, we're set up for the next book, aren't we? Yes, we are. But yeah, so there is a character, well, okay, the character in Powerful, I was like, oh yeah, I could already see what this book is going to do, and it didn't do it. Like, every single one of my predictions for what this book was going to be was not anything. Not a single thing. And I'm like, I feel like Lauren Roberts broke out of the YA fantasy mold with this book, which maybe kudos to her, but like the mold is good for a reason. So anyways, I'm being vague, but this is still a favorite though. Okay. I still fully enjoyed it. The quotes, the characters, the pining, the banter, still amazing. And I still, like, it holds a special place in my heart. And so this is an honorable mention, but it was not a favorite of the year by any stretch. Like, so that's too bad. But there you go. Yay. Okay, now I'm just going to go in order that I wrote them down in. So, One Wrong Move by Dani Pettrey. This is definitely an honorable mention. I gave this 4 stars. Really enjoyed my reading experience. There was a few slow parts. It's a thick book, so yeah, there was some slow parts, basically with like sometimes the bad guys, like I didn't really care what they were doing. But what I loved about this book that would have made it 5 stars if there wasn't boring parts was the characters and their relationship. The romance, and even the side characters too, the family dynamics, everything about that, all of the relationship dynamics in this book was 5-star level. Loved them. Really well done, high quality. So really enjoyed this book. It's the start of a series and it's romantic suspense, Christian. Really enjoyed it and definitely going to continue this series. And it was a great setup for the rest of the books because you meet all of the like characters. It's kind of like a bit of a family, you know, so each family member is going to have their own book. So really excited to read the next one. And yeah, it's definitely on my anticipated releases list. But this one, honorable mention, really enjoyed it. Okay, and then Falling for Your Best Friend by Emma St. Clair. This was so good. It was so close to a 5-star. But there were some slow parts and enough that I couldn't overlook it. But I really loved this book. It was such a sweet story. The main thing that stands out is the depth of the characters. The girl character, she goes on such a journey to like self-discover herself and like she just like grows so much, and it was really beautiful to see. And then the way the guy loves her through it was just so beautiful. So yeah, I loved their relationship. I thought the writing was funny. There was a lot of funny moments, but there was a little bit of a side plot that just felt out of place and kind of like filler, and so I was like bummed by that. But everything else I really enjoyed, and I would definitely recommend this book and this series, especially this one. Like, it just was so good. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Honorable mention because it's like a 4.5 star. Okay, next is Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. So this book, gave it 4 stars, really enjoyed it. There was just a little bit of language that took me out of the story and made it not a 5 star, but I really loved this romance. It was such a mature romance. It is age gap where the girl is older, but it was done really well. Like there was so many like cute moments between them, but a lot of growth. Like basically this woman is going through a divorce, freshly divorced, something like that, and she's just trying to rediscover herself and make her life better. She is a mom as well, and she meets a guy, and it turns out she knows him from childhood, and they reconnect and you see their romance. But it was such an adult romance. Like they had adult issues, they had to talk through it, but they still did really sweet romantic things, and just all of it, I was like, oh, it was such an enjoyable experience. Loved the writing style. But yeah, and it's also clean. There's no spice. They talk about it, but that's it. And then there is some language though, so that's the only thing. But otherwise, definitely really enjoyed this book. 4 stars. Okay, another 4 stars, The Blonde Identity by Ali Carter. I ate this book up. I was so entertained. Really enjoyed it. Great audiobook. Highly recommend that. But the language, there's some intense swearing in this book. So not a 5 star, not a favorite. Sometimes with language I can overlook it, but this one was like right in your face and it was just too much. So didn't love that. But the storyline, the characters, the banter was so funny, so well done, so entertaining. Loved the concept. Like honestly, really enjoyed it. So if you can overlook language, highly recommend this book. It was really fun. Yeah, a lot of like kind of suspense, and like it follows spies and stuff, and just all of it was like really entertaining. And the romance was super sweet. So yeah, it is clean too. It's fade to black. So that's awesome. Okay, next is Fairest of Heart by Witemeyer. Really enjoyed this book. This is a 4 star. There was a few slow parts, like part of the historical setting and just like a bit of the setup, but the characters and the way it was a fairy tale retelling, this is a Snow White retelling. It was so well done, and I really enjoyed that part, and the romance, but even like it was the way that she wrote in the 7 male characters that are like the 7 dwarves. She did it so well. It was really cute, really funny, like the way they first meet. I was hooked and really enjoyed that part. But yeah, just like a little bit of the slowness and whatever. It's not a full favorite, but definitely want to mention it. Like, yeah, if you like fairy tale retellings, if you like historical romance, I think, was there even faith content in here? I don't remember if there's like much faith content, but it was just really good. It was kind of a sweet story, and I really enjoyed reading it. So yeah, I wanted to mention that. Okay, next is The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. This book surprised me. I did not expect to like this book. It was slow at the beginning, but once you got into it, like the relationship was so good. And I really like stories like this where you're kind of in like a smaller setting, and you're seeing the characters like day to day trying to like figure out life and like grow and get to know each other, and that part was really well done, and I got so invested in both of the women that you follow. So that was like a nice experience, because like, yeah, sometimes I don't like reading about like older characters that are curmudgeon and rude, but it grows on you. She definitely has some good character development, this lady, but it's the romance that stands out, and then also the way the family like comes together and all of that. I really recommend this book though. It was just a slow start. There's no faith content in this book, but there's no swearing, and it's clean, and it was a really good like clean contemporary romance option. Okay, and lastly is Starstruck by Amy Clipston. This is honorable mention just because I was so ready to hate this book, because Amy Clipston's books in the past have been so deathly boring that I'm like, never read her books. But this setup like is exactly what I want to read, so I had to give it a try. It's a celebrity romance, okay, where this girl is at a concert with her friend who loves the band, but this girl like knows nothing about them, is just going to like support her, but they have VIP tickets, so she's in the VIP room just chilling. She doesn't even care. She's on her phone. So one of the singers comes up to her, and she doesn't even know that he's the singer. So she just starts like kind of chatting like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting for my friend. She's going to see these singers. And he's like, oh, you don't like the singers? And she's like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. And he's like, and of course the guy is like, oh, she doesn't know me and she's going to treat me like a normal person. So phone call. Okay, pause. Okay, I'm back. That's what you get for filming while you're working from home and you're still on call. So it's fine. We're all good. Don't remember. Oh yeah, Starstruck. Okay. So yeah, Starstruck. I gave this 4 stars and really enjoyed it, but it definitely wasn't a favorite of the year, but I liked it enough to like say something, because if you like cheesy celebrity romance, like that's what this is, and it was really well done. Like it wasn't like cringy and dumb. Like it was actually entertaining and cheesy. So that's what I think about that, and I would recommend it. So that was a quick little extra little clip. But yeah, those are all of my like honorable mentions or almost favorite books of the year. A lot of books that I just wanted to make sure that I talk about, especially the one with the kiss cam by Cindy Steele. Check it out. But yeah, otherwise, that's everything from me. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you have an honorable mention, one that you wouldn't say is like your top fave, but is still like worth the recommendation, would love to hear that. But otherwise, I will write all of the books down below. Thank you for watching, you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys. So it jumps in the